It is a Sunday, and it's another week behind us of video game adaptation news this week, but we'll get into that. I'll see what's happening on the interwebbies and whatever kind of news is dropping. We're going to get into that. So don't forget to like and subscribe. And over here on Game is Hard, Netflix Adi Shankar discusses video game adaptations and Captain Laserhawk, a new show recently announced that isn't an adaptation, but it does have a very video gamey vibe to it, which definitely seems to be Adi Shankar's thing. Really cool computer setup here, though I don't get this picture of how it's in part of the article, but it's just a really beautiful, sexy setup that I wish I had. So Shankar actually produced Netflix's Castlevania. I actually didn't know that he produced it. I actually didn't know he was involved in that at all. He definitely had stuff on there. Right, so Captain Laserhawk, I was wrong. A Blood Dragon remix is kind of loosely based on the Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, kind of basically him using old clips that he edited together himself with a satirical twist and kind of how he built his career. Captain Laserhawk brings together various Ubisoft properties, including Rayman, Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs, and Beyond Good and Evil, in a bold and unique way. Shankar admits that he expected Ubisoft to reject the idea given its unconventional nature. However, they not only supported the project, but also sent a representative to vouch for the creative team freedom Shankar would have. The central focus of Captain Laserhawk is a love story between two original characters, Captain Laserhawk, and Alex Taylor. Shankar states that everything else in the series is built around this love story. He describes his creative process as working on 4 different projects that eventually merge into one cohesive story. With the backing of Ubisoft and Netflix, Captain Laserhawk represents an exciting and innovative approach to video game adaptations. Fans can look forward to its release and see how Shankar's vision translates on screen. Shankar also did that kind of unusual Justice League knockoff. I forget what it was even called, the something league. Right, it was called The Defenders of Justice, and it actually has a really low rating on IMDb, a 5.1, but I mean, yeah, it wasn't great, but I dug the whole combination of different styles of media to, like, create the thing, and that's definitely Shankar's style and vibe, so I'm down with that. Even over here on Shankar's, I actually had no idea he was involved with Castlevania, to be honest, but he's also a producer on The Grey, a 2011 movie with Liam Neeson. The Grey was like a Blacklist script that got made into a show, a script, a film. And also Dredd, didn't know he was involved in that. Dredd's great. The Punisher, Dirty Laundry, that's also really cool. It was a really great short that kind of made people really want Thomas Jane to come back as Punisher, which he hasn't, but now it's, John Bernthal. We all know how awesome he is. Also, yeah, there's Captain Laserhawk, but he's also working on Devil May Cry, which is another Capcom adaptation. So this guy's definitely going to become like the adaptation dude, just like other people that have done it are going to be doing it. So I don't know. I think he's a little out there, but he's doing some interesting stuff that no one else in the industry is really doing at all. So yeah, over on MovieWeb.com, they kind of did a recent list of, I'm not sure how they're ranking this, but the 10 video game, movie, and TV show adaptations ranked based on a video game. So let's see how they rank this, how they decide to do this. Websites are so bad with the just videos playing automatically now. Like, you have no choice; it just plays it automatically, and I don't like that at all. But look at it, just ads here, ads there, ads everywhere. The very first game to be made into a film adaptation was Super Mario in '93, and we all know that it was one of the worst, probably the worst one ever. Over the last 3 decades, adaptations have gotten a lot better and enjoyable as technology has flourished. The launch of streaming services and platforms has also played a part in getting video game adapted for the screen. What's more, Super Mario has been redeemed with the 2023 adaptation becoming a testament. But what makes a good video game adaptation? Which ones are top tier? Below, we look at the best animated. They don't really say how they're rating this. What's this based on? Is this just their opinion, or is it based on their actual ratings? I don't know. They're not saying. So it's going from 10 to 1. Top 1 is Legend of Zelda, the '89 animated show, which I'd never seen at all. I was Yeah, I was a kid then, so I could have seen it, but I guess I just didn't. I don't know. I like that they're putting in the name of the voice actors and whatnot. Like, even though I don't know these names in the voice acting world, Mortal Kombat Legends, Scorpions Revenge. Yeah, that was a little movie, I think, like direct to video. Yeah, it was cool. I mean, I like anything that Warner Animation does. Mortal Kombat, DC. I wish they would do some more Mortal Kombat stuff. Resident Evil Degeneration. CG animated, which I don't think I've seen. There's a lot of Resident Evil adaptations, like for sure. It definitely has the most out of every game IP out there. It has a lot. I should do a video of that one. Ratchet and Clank, the movie. 2016 movie that, I don't know, came out, didn't really make a lot of noise, but it's a good movie. Actually, you know what? I don't know if I've seen it, to be honest. Dragon Quest, Your Story. 2019, based on the 92 Dragon Quest game. According to whatever that is, it was one of the 25 highest grossing Japanese films of 2019, earning around 13 million. Yeah, Netflix picked up the film, so it came out in theaters. 13 million. That's not bad for an animated film, but I don't know if it came out in North America in theaters or just on streaming. Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie. 1999 movie takes Sonic and his friends on a journey to Planet Freedom. My voice is a little off. I was at a show last night and I was yelling a lot. Street Fighter 2, the animated movie, yes, this one is excellent. Probably one of the best, from what I've seen personally, one of the best animated films based on an adaptation. This is really good. It's also like an animated show that kind of came around at the same time, but it's not as good. Obviously, it's way more kid friendly. Of course, in the same year, the live action one came out, but we don't want to talk about that one very much. Pokemon Mewtwo Strikes Back, a CGI remake. I didn't know that was a remake of the other movie. It's placed during the Pokemon Indigo League 2019 film. So they remade the original animated film, and that's interesting. Final Fantasy Advent Children, 2005. Yeah, so it's kind of the continued story of they resurrect Sephiroth, the villain from the game, and I guess he has to kill him again. And the number one adaptation is Castlevania. It's probably the highest rated animated show on Netflix. Definitely the highest rated adaptation animated on Netflix. One of the greatest animation ever produced is Castlevania. They recently just released Castlevania Nocturne earlier this year. I kind of wish they would say what they're basing this list on. It just says, hey, here's the top 10. I don't know if they're just basing it on their opinions or an actual... So there's what MovieWeb considers to be the top 10 animated video game and TV show adaptations. So in other recent news, the adaptation that never seems to go away, even though I just mentioned it earlier in this video, the 93 Super Mario live-action movie is returning to theaters for 4K after 30 years. Very unusual, but a good idea, because why not? With adaptations blowing up, why not re-release it? I mean, who knows? It could maybe it'll be more movie than it made when it first came out. I don't know. The live-action Super Mario Bros. Movie, which was a flop in 1993, is getting a lavish 4K release for its 30th anniversary. The movie was a box office bomb, making only 38.9 on a budget of 40 million. But of course, it was rebooted this year with the animated film that made over $1 billion, which is one of the biggest movies of the year. So despite that, they're deciding to re-release it into theaters and leave a box set that includes a 4K Ultra version of the movie with 3 discs, 2 Blu-rays, behind-the-scenes books, film cell, posters, stickers, art cards, new audio commentary, and a newly restored deleted scene with trailers. New audio commentary, that's interesting. I wonder who would be on that. Not Bob Hoskins, because unfortunately he's passed away. But maybe John Leguizamo, but he sounds still very bitter about the whole situation like 30 years later. The live-action Super Mario movie stands as a stark contrast to the animated film, which broke box office records. It's hard to believe that such a profitable IP could have had such a disastrous adaptation. The movie has impressive special effects for the time, and it could have been a huge hit, but instead it became a laughingstock. The main problem was that it deviated too much from the source material. The animated version captured the cheerful and colorful atmosphere of the games. The live action tried to add some unnecessary twists, like making the world dystopia, and it was focused too much on Mario and Luigi's occupation and plumbers, which was irrelevant and boring in the Mario world. Yes, boring for sure. The box set costs a whopping $100 and will be released in January 2024. It says it's coming to theaters, but here it just says it's getting a box set. So I'm not sure if it's coming to theaters or not. Maybe they just made the box set. I'm not sure. It could have been a typo, or maybe it is coming out in theaters, but it doesn't say when. In more news, but Netflix animated, also a new trailer just dropped for the Netflix official trailer for Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. So it's been over 10 years since the first Scott Pilgrim movie came out. The live action movie came out with Michael Cera. And I saw it, I enjoyed it, I liked it, and I kind of thought that would kind of help the video game thingy, but I guess not. But I haven't watched the trailer for this yet. I wasn't really paying much attention to it. I mean, Netflix comes out with so much animation that it's almost hard to keep up with how much stuff they come out with, whether it's adaptation related or not. They just come up with a lot of stuff. But it's always good. No matter what it is, I love it. So that's cool that they still got a lot, pretty much the same, retains many other 2010s films cast members, including Michael Cera as Scott Pilgrim, Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Ramona Flowers, Satya Badabada as Matthew Patel, Karen Culkin as Wallace Wells. Karen Culkin's like a big deal now, winning awards for being on Succession. Chris Evans as Lucas, Anna Kendrick as Stacy Pilgrim. So yeah, pretty much most of the people. So the original graphic novels were published on Oni Press on 2004 to July 2010. So the adaptation came out while the books were still being made. 6 collected volumes were released in total. The series also inspired a mobile comic and video game adaptation. The synopsis of Scott Pilgrim Takes Off is as follows. Scott Pilgrim meets the girl of his dreams, Ramona Flowers, but learns he must defeat her 7 evil exes. Then things get even more complicated. That's what the story already is. I thought it was like a new take on a different part of the story. That's not all that interesting, to be honest. But they're really gonna just do it over again, the exact same story again. So yeah, it's executive produced by Edgar Wright, who directed the first movie, but it seems a lot like it's the same story, which is kind of a weird choice. We'll see how that works out. Moving on to comicbook.com, there has been said that the 2021 Arcane animated series on Netflix, which was a very beautifully animated show, based on a game that I don't actually play, but I still watched it because it was just really good. And it has officially been made canon, which I wouldn't know because I don't play the games at all. So I don't know the story about the games at all. So over on Reddit, a dev by the name Riot Meddler got fans buzzing when they posted to the League of Legends community in a thread dedicated to a lore update. It was there that Riot Meddler told Arcane fans it is very canon to the main series. Arcane is canon. League is also in that same canon. Can't go into exact details. Can say there's been more than one rune war / conflict though. Some bigger, some smaller. It's saying devs, and I don't know. I guess it's devs. Like if this is the official League of Legends, and if they're coming in there and saying that it's canon, I guess it is. But I mean, if you work there and you just say yeah, it's canon, people are gonna believe you. So. In that same post, another dev named Riot Preco, I don't know, I guess they're all from Riot, so they gotta say Riot before their name or something. Games versus truly narrative efforts are developed very, very differently. Game development team structures tend to be a lot flatter than a film or TV show. Finding the right parameters answers is a lot more iterative. Movies, TV shows require a somewhat singular vision. The creative needs of League are very different than the needs of something like Arcane. So you have to impose quite a few changes to align certain decision making, while also trying to maximize the potential of both expressions. There's no studio in the world that has done this well yet. Arcane was the first time Riot ever tried to put together something purely narrative, especially on that scale. Also over here on another website, Rooter, the Five Nights at Freddy creator has seen the film and he's praising it. So that's good. So creator of Five Nights at Freddy, Scott, his opinion on the new Five Nights at Freddy movie. In a recent interview with Collider, director Emma Tammy spoke with what it meant to her and production to have the support and guidance of the original creator of independent games. Additionally, she notes that the creative provided positive feedback after the initial stages of the project. I was very, very happy to get some real-time feedback if there was anything we needed to adjust. Scott said something very nice to me a couple of weeks into production. He told me, I really enjoyed the movie and watching the story unfold on screen. So they're in the production, but he's saying he enjoyed the movie. I don't know how that's possible because they weren't even finished making it yet. The director assures that the production process was fantastic and emphasizes that having the supervision of Scott Cawthon was great advantage. I don't think we would have been able to make an accurate adaptation of this game without it. So a few months ago, Cawthorn stated he was able to see the first cut of Five Nights at Freddy's and was very happy with the result. I think it turned out incredible. I'm very excited for everyone to see it in October. You must remember that in addition to supervising the project, the developer also served as a scriptwriter and producer. So yeah, he wrote the script, so that was good. I mean, why not? If you're going to do an adaptation of a game, why not just get the creator to write it for you? Thus, the live-action adaptation of the indie game has captivated millions of players almost 10 years ago, promises to be a project full of Easter eggs and references that excite fans. I won't know these references because I've never played one Five Nights at Freddy game ever in my life. But my nephew has, so I'm probably going to go see that with him so he'll know. But tell us, did the franchise creator statements increase your hype? Do you think the film met your expectations? Well, this is just them wanting you to give comments below, so that's great to know that the Scott Cawthon, creator of the game, is giving the show itself props. Continuing on with more Five Nights at Freddy news, the director, Emma Tammy, recalls getting emotional when she saw the fully animated animatronics. Emma Tammy was floored when she saw the Five Nights at Freddy's creatures for the first time. The filmmaker has taken the reins on the horror video game adaptation, and though she had been there every step of the way, the Jim Henson Creature Shop were animatronics used in the film. She couldn't help but get emotional. Well, if you're going to get someone to do your creature work and animatronics, then Jim Henson's probably the best in the whole. She told SFX magazine, "I've seen the design process and then the build process every step of the way. So I have been gradually getting more and more excited and more invested into how these creatures were coming to life. But then we actually got them up and running and on their own the first time. It was exhilarating and unexpectedly emotional. I was floored. I couldn't have been happier with how they turned out, and once they were walking around them, you could really feel these characters coming to life, which is incredible considering they're inanimate objects. One cast member in particular developed a strong bond with the characters. Well, of course, the 10-year-old actress is going to be like, I love these guys. But Emma said, we have one 10-year-old actress, Piper Rubio, and she was so in love with these animatronics that she would hug them every day, and when she got on set, she would hug them every day. That was so cute. To this day, she misses him. She absolutely created a bond with him that is beyond anything I would have expected or wished for. And it was so deeply authentic. That was incredible to see. So yeah, it's pretty cute. Alright people, well there you go. That's the video game adaptation news for the week of October 9th to the 15th. Some more new news dropping that if you look deep enough on the internet, you'll find it. So good for me and good for you for watching that. If I dropped anything new to you, let me know what you think about in the comments. Do any of these, are you excited about any new releases coming out? Do you agree with the top 10 animated lists? Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Thanks again for watching, and don't forget to keep gaming.